In this video, I am going to be talking about how you can get a job in Canada from your home country. These days, there is now an increasing need for you to look at other pathways to relocating to Canada aside the Federal Skilled Worker Program. And some of these pathways require you to have a valid job offer in Canada. So, want to know how you can go about getting this job? Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome to my channel again. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. My name is Faith. I'm an HR professional based in Toronto, Canada. Please use the subscribe button before you leave. And if you're a returning viewer, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can land a job in Canada from your home country. It is not news that getting a job in Canada while you're still outside of Canada is somewhat difficult. That is the truth, just being honest and putting it out there. It's much easier in countries like the US, so maybe that is an option that you want to look at. It's much easier in countries like that, but in Canada it's a bit difficult. And this is because most times when employers need to get people from outside of Canada, they need to do a labor market impact assessment. It's called the LMIA. So what that assessment is all about is pretty much saying to the government that, look, we were unable to get people in this particular role, people in Canada or people who are PR holders in Canada. So we have a need to look outside of Canada. So they need to do that assessment in order for them to employ people from outside of Canada. Now, there are certain programs where the employers won't have to do an LMIA, and I'm going to be talking about some of those programs in my next videos, so just stay tuned. But this is one of the things that constrains employers to putting their focus on hiring people who are already in Canada. So while it is difficult, it is not impossible to get. And now, here are some things that I think that you need to do. First off is that you need to create your Canadian style resume. If you don't already have this, then you haven't even started your journey. In Canada here, the resume style is different from what you have in your home country. So make sure that you already have that sorted. If you want to know how you can go about creating a Canadian style resume, I'm going to link my video up here. In that video, I broke down the different aspects of the Canadian style resume. I also talked about the do's and don'ts, and I added a template in the description box of that video. So please check it out. That is the first thing that you need to do. Now, in looking for a job, what you need to do is that you need to focus on areas that have less competition. When you're looking for a job from outside of Canada, don't focus on the big cities. Don't say you're looking for a job in Toronto, in Calgary. Those are big cities. The competition is stiff. You are not only competing with the Canadians themselves, you're competing with immigrants who are already in Canada while you are still outside of Canada. So just imagine the pool of people that are competing for the available jobs. Look for the rural areas, look for the rural areas. In those places, the competition is less. And the available jobs, at least you might be able to stand a chance there. There are even some areas that are so cold. I've heard maybe places like Thunder Bay or so in Ontario, for instance, or there are even some other places outside of Ontario. You can look those up on Google. There are places that are so cold that most people don't want to live there. Those are the kind of places that you should focus on. At the end of the day, it's about getting a job in Canada, not necessarily in Toronto or in the big cities. So that is where you should focus your energy on. Look for companies in such areas and contact them directly. Those employers are looking for people. I know there's an impression that, Canada is so stiff, the job market is so stiff. But the truth is that if you focus on the rural areas, you will see that some of those employers actually do not have the kind of labor that they require because they don't just have it. So that is where you come in, and that is the gap that you can fill. So that will be my first point, really. Focus on rural areas. Contact those employees. If you see a job opening, the employers, if you see a job opening, contact them, send them an email and tell them that you're interested. Send your resume across to them. Now, if you are fortunate to be someone who worked in a multinational before in your home country, or you're currently working in a multinational, that is a good avenue for you to explore. For instance, I worked in GlaxoSmithKline, GSK, while I was in Nigeria. And when I was coming to Canada, I reached out to the GSK Canada office. In fact, my boss even helped me with the connection and everything. But COVID struck, so there was really nothing they could do at that point. So there were less openings in the Canada office. But you see, if not for COVID, it's possible that that's how I would have gotten a job in Canada, even while I was still outside of Canada. So my point is that if you are someone who falls under such category, then that is one option that you need to explore and take advantage of. Because it's easier to transfer from a company in your home country and transfer to the Canadian branch of that particular company. It's much easier and things are better, especially when you are good at your job, right? Because that's actually another thing. You need to be good at your job. But if you're good at your job, then the transition is seamless. So that's one way of getting a job in Canada from outside of Canada. Another thing that I want you to bear in mind is that you need to also just look at your role or your career and the industry that you play in. It is not news that the IT guys, the tech guys, find it easier to get jobs in Canada from outside of Canada because, their skills are very transferable, so it's easier for them, right? But notwithstanding, no matter the profession that you are under, it's all about doing your research, right? I have said in some of my previous videos that, understand the labor market in Canada because that's what will help you. If you are in IT, you can look anywhere, but there are specific professions that might be of interest in some provinces more than the others. So that's one thing that you just need to do your research. I've said it before, if you are an engineer, Alberta is probably the place for you to look at. And like I said, don't look at the big cities in Alberta. Look at the smaller cities in Alberta because that's where you might be lucky enough to find a job. Okay, so that's one thing that you need to do. Just understand how your profession, understand the labor market in Canada and where is best for you to focus your job search on. Now, you want to start looking at the job boards. Job Bank is a very reliable and very a highly recommended job board when you are looking for a job in Canada from outside of Canada. Why I specify Job Bank is because the way the ads come, you are able to even filter such that you see which ones are from employers that have LMIA, that have already completed their LMIA, that have done that assessment, right? And that is what you need, for you to get a job. So Job Bank is one job board that I would recommend. I will probably do a video where I will show you how you can use Job Bank to filter and look at, these employers that I said who have already done their LMIA. So it's easier for you. So please use Job Bank, utilize it. You can search for jobs there. I know that, there's a possibility that if you are someone who is really highly skilled, like maybe you're in HR, in tech or whatever, some of those jobs may not be readily available. I know that there are lower level jobs that you can find on Job Bank, but there's always Indeed.ca. That's another good resource. There's always LinkedIn that you should take advantage of. LinkedIn is good because you can connect directly with some of these hiring managers. You can connect directly with the recruiters and just tell them, look, it's not about lying. It's about telling them as it is. You are still outside of Canada, but this and this and this are your skill sets. And this is what you can bring to the table. It's simple and short. If they're not going to take you, that's fine. Some employers don't even really know so much about this LMIA. So you just need to tell them. All they need to do really is to fill out a form and send the necessary documents. It's not such a tedious process. So, but some employers don't even really want to bother themselves with it because they don't even know so much. So it's also up to you to educate them to say, well, yeah, I'm not able to work in Canada, but I know that if you can do your LMIA, then you'll be able to employ me. Sometimes you just need to put it out there and try your luck. What's the worst that will happen? You get a no or you get a rejection. I don't think that is a big deal to any job seeker, right? So please just try and utilize some of these job boards. I will link them in the description box so that you can just go directly to the website and look for these jobs and filter by location or profession or whatever you want to filter by. So the other thing that I would say is, also try recruitment agencies. So there's some recruitment agencies that do international hiring for companies in Canada. So honestly, I'm not going to vouch for anyone, and I don't want to tell you that, okay, this is the one you should use or this is the one you shouldn't use. But I think that you should just do your research, because these recruitment agencies are out there. But just be very careful so that you don't get scammed. I mean, watch my previous video, which I will link up here, on job scams. Just make sure that you do your research and make sure that you follow those tips that I mentioned in that video so that you don't fall into the hands of fraudulent people. But indeed, there are people, or there are agencies that also help with international hiring. So those are the kind of agencies that you might want to contact and see how you can get help from them. It's about putting your resume together and projecting your skill set and the sort of jobs that you are interested in, and they will be able to help you. Then also there's networking. This one I'm saving it for last, because really it's not so easy. But the truth is, look, there's nothing wrong with reaching out to people who you know are already in Canada. If you have family and friends who are in Canada, reach out to them. You never know. Maybe the companies they work for, or they know someone who works in a company who is recruiting, and you actually have that skill set. Then they would remember you, right? And they might be able to push to the employer and say, oh, we have this person who we think is really good. All you need to do is maybe do the LMIA, and the person will be able to hire the person, right? Some employers are even open to these things, because truth be told, it's easier, it costs them less to pay you, because you don't really understand the job market here. So most times you won't get as paid. You won't get the same amount of money that they will pay someone who is already in Canada. So to be honest, it's kind of like a win for them. But yeah, some of them don't just even want to go through that stress, or they're just like, But it takes, someone who knows or who works for such an employer to be able to push your case forward and say, well, I have this person and I think that the person is really good. All you need to do is fill out this form, blah, 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 blah. So you never know. Look, try it out. Network everywhere. Network on LinkedIn. Network with family and friends of friends, people that are already here, because you never can tell where there might be one job that might come up, and it might just be a suit for you. Okay, guys, so really that's all I have to say in this video. I mean, like I said at the beginning, it's not impossible. It's difficult, yes, but it's not impossible. And please don't just go with the general mindset and the general mentality of, oh, people don't get jobs from outside of Canada. A number of people have gotten jobs this way. So the fact that, you have nothing to lose, right? Just try. I think that's the point. What is there to lose? You get a no and you move on. But the point is, without you trying and just giving up and saying this is not something that is possible, then you never know, right? So please just try it out. Follow the tips that I said, especially the one of focusing on the rural areas in Canada. Look for less competition. That, I think, is very, very important when you're job searching. Okay, guys, so that's it from me on this video. Check out my next video. I think I'll be talking about some of the other programs where the employer might not require an LMIA. So watch out for that video. And if you like this particular video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. Share this video as well with anyone who you think will be interested in it. And I'll see you in the next video.